Good morning. Welcome to today's update. I have to wait till Wednesday before sending updates because there isn't really much happening. Nothing really happened on Monday because of the bank holiday. So not until yesterday we started seeing movement. So I had to wait till early this morning to give you this update. Now, this is US dollar index, which may align us as per what the trade is doing. Now, this is daily chart, and we can see this kind of price action here on the daily time frame. But one thing again I want you to see, and I want you to understand, is not only price action that we look at. For anybody that may have seen this kind of price action on the daily, you will think, okay, now this is we call this one an evening star. An evening star is what probably may tell you that the trade wants to go bearish. And I think, the way we look at price action or candle formation is beyond what each candle is saying in itself, but at the structure level and at the wave, we have to look at the structure, we have to look at the wave. Is the structure complete or not? So I don't want to waste too much of your time. This is an evening star here. Did this one send price to the downside? No, just a correction. Likewise here. So we are seeing a formation of what looks like an evening star also here. Will this send price to the downside? And again, we saw something that looks like that here, which sent price to the downside. We saw also at this point something that looks like an evening star that sent price to the downside. Why will this one's not send price to the downside, but price went up? And what we are seeing now, are we going down or not? So I'm going to answer that very quickly. Number one, like I told us, we have to look at the price action. So let me bring out a drawing on this. Now, this is the drawing that we have on this. I told us potentially we may come here, okay? And for now, this is where we are. And we have turned down, okay? Are we going to break this low, or are we going to break the top? Now, what we should expect here, since if I tell us that, okay, we see this as wave 1 and wave 2, and that wave 3 ended here. Wave 3 ended at this point, and this is wave 4. So which means that this wave that we are seeing to the upside is the last wave, which is wave 5. Now, if it's the last wave of 5, we should be expecting an ending diagonal. In terms of ending diagonal, do we have a completion of wave here? Ending diagonal is going to be in 5 waves. Is it completed? That is the question. So let me go inside of a even looking at this now that we call ending diagonal. This that we call ending diagonal, where and where do we think this thing may relinquish or stop being stop the uptrend, and we have a change? We know that this is with 3 here, and this is with 4 here. We cannot use this anymore because it's a new wave. Once we break the structure here, this is a new wave. So the only thing we can do is to look for a 161.8 extension between here and here to see where that would land. From here, and you come to this purple. Of course, the reaction is occurring at exactly 161.8. Now, seeing that reaction occurring at 161.8, it doesn't mean, that wave may not extend, wave 5 may not extend beyond that. So we want to break that mystery. Are we done, or are we going to have an extension beyond 161.8? So it's only wave count structure that tells us, that give an answer, because if you are looking at, okay, wave format 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 alone, or that you are looking at fib extensions alone, it might not really help. So let's go inside of 4 minutes time frame and see that. Now, inside of a 4 minutes time frame, this is where we agree that wave 3 has ended. Wave 3 ended here, and we just look at an extension of between here and here, wave 3 and this wave 4, and we say, well, 161.8 is here at this level. So we want to see if you're going to have a break out of. So looking at this one, we should be looking for a 5-wave format. And to me, it now looks as if what we are seeing now, like I said in the video on Saturday, that this looks, based on what perspective the US dollar index had given us, is like wave 1 and wave 2. So we see this move from this top to the bottom here as what? A, to this point as B, and this point is a C. So this B, this from here to this level, let me try and zoom in for you to understand what I'm trying to say. So from here to this point is A, and the B is A of B. This is A of B. 1, 2, 3. This is B of B, and this is C of B. So the C of B completed B in itself as a 3-wave format. This is a flat in between, in the middle. It's a flat in the middle, you know, like A of B, B of B, and a C of B. And this can only be the major C to the downside, which is A, B, C to the downside. And when you have A, B, C to the downside, it means that this is now a wave 1, and this is a wave 2. So that is all it can be. So at what point will this one stop being a wave 2, but a continuation? So if you don't know anything about wave count and what you should expect in terms of, you know, the ending diagonal, so you will be thinking that now this is a move to the downside, and that this one that is going, it's a correction for a breakdown. Let's look at the possibility both ways now. Let's look at the possibility both ways. But for me, the structure is not complete, and that is why I'm still calling for more upside now. The structure is not complete with what we know, even though it has reached an extension of 161.8. The structure is not complete. I cannot see a wave 1. I can't call this a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and that we're turning that. I can't call that because, number one, what we know about ending diagonal or leading diagonal is that wave 3 is never the shortest. It's never the shortest. As a matter of fact, wave 3 should be the longest of all the waves. Wave 1 and wave 5 can be equal, but wave 3 is never the shortest. So because it's not the shortest, you can see that we can't say that this is a wave 1 of ending diagonal, wave 2 and wave 3 and wave 4 and wave 5. We cannot say that. So that does not agree with ending diagonal. So what this agrees with is ABC of a wave 2. Now we're going to see a wave 3. And if you're going to see a wave 3, what are we going to at least expect? Because it's never the shortest. So it means that if we take from this point, if we take this point, because we'll see, okay, we've won here, and this is still part of 2, so we'll still take it from here. So technically, to this point, okay, So let me use green for that. So what we are trying to say now is that at least from this point that we are moving, at least we should get something very close to this level, at least close to this level, if not over it, for us to be in wave 3. So that is what we are saying now. So you can see what I'm trying to, so even with that, we have not reached where we think our destination is. So wave 3 cannot be shorter than this. That is what I'm trying to say. Now, I haven't said that. I'm just trying to, I haven't said that. Now, I would rather see this more as a continuation to break the top one more time. And at the end of this wave of wave 3, that is when people can begin to look to sell your US dollar index, because the wave 5 of it might be truncated. So once we get a price action, that is when to begin to look for your possible sell to the downside, because wave 5 of it might be truncated. Now, when does this one stop being a wave 2 to this? If we say this is wave 1 and this is wave 2, this is 1 of 5 now. You can use another one to count, maybe another color to count 1, 2. So it will stop being a wave 5 if it breaks this level. In fact, I don't have to wait until it gets to 90. It should not get to 90 retracement. So what I'm trying to say now is that once we take this from the beginning of what we've seen wave 1 is to the end of what wave 1 is, this is 85 here. If the price should just break below 85, it is nothing again. So the price had made a reaction at 78, which is also good for what we know with 2 to be. So for me, so far, since Monday till early Wednesday, we are still within wave 1 and wave 2 of the ending diagonal. So this is going to spread, it's going to spread, and we're going to see another break to the upside. So we have 3 more waves to go. So this is the 3rd wave going up, and I want to believe so. And the 4th wave will come down, and the last wave will go up before we change direction. So that's what I'm saying now. So this potentially could go up, except it breaks this level. So if we look at DXY, DXY is also doing the same thing. It's also doing the same thing, and this is like it's turning back now, and that's what I can see. I'm not sure if this is going to turn down one more time, but it's likely that now we can, from this point that we finished. So now that we said, oh, this one may be with 2, that has disappeared now. So obviously, to me, we should align ourselves and say this is exactly where wave 3 has ended. So all these are just part of correction of, wave 4 major, A, B, C. So that's what I can see. So this is where wave 3 has ended, and this is now wave 1 of 5. If I'm going to do that, I can begin to use blue for that on this, blue for it. So that will be a wave 1, and this will be a wave 2. So this will be a wave 1 that we're going to break the top one more time. And now this will now be a wave 2. Now, mark you, we had A, B, C. So this is now the beginning of wave 1 in this case. So it's a bit funny here. So what do we have here in terms of retracement? Of course, we are now seeing a possible break to the downside. Now, it's a bit funny here on the DXY. You can see the DXY trying to, it's already touched 0.9 here. So except what we are seeing here from the DXY, except what we are seeing here from the DXY, because here, if we say this is the origin of wave 1 here to this point, and that this is wave 2, these are already broken 89. It's supposed not to get to this point, okay? So which may mean also that for the DXY, it may now mean, based on what I saw now, it may now mean that this is just part of, from here up to this point, is wave 1 that has ran 5-wave structure. That is what I can see here, that this may have run 5-wave structure of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to finish with 1, except that. So yeah, in terms to align ourselves now, so what we can begin to think now is that wave 3 comes here. Wave 3 comes here, so that we have had our proper A, B, so you can see how this thing can be. You can see how it can be now. So you can see this is our C here, and that our A is actually here. So our A, B, C, then to have finished with 3, and that this is part of wave 1. If that is the case, this will be more interesting here, because this can actually be A, that's wave 1, A, B, C of 2, of 1, and we have a 3, 4, and a 5 of 1. So now, the structure that has to be broken here is this structure, not even this one now, because this one to this one being a 1 to this, is it has broken the structure of what a 2. So this is what we'll be looking at now. And this is the level we'll be looking at to take this one as a wave 1. Of course, once the structure here is broken, then you know that that's the end of an uptrend. So US dollar index is really the one guiding us now, because the DXY and the euro dollar, they can be a bit of a mess. So with that said, it means that this is the last place. Once price breach this place, based on what we are seeing now, so the reaction now is now occurring at 76, which is still correct, because we have to align ourselves with the structure now. So it means we may have done a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of that with 1. So because this does not look like an ending diagonal, really. It can't just be in a flash like this that we're having an ending diagonal. So, but we are going to see how this one spreads out. So once we recover and break the top one more time, then we know that now we are doing a wave 3 proper. We have to break this top before we say, okay, we're in wave 3. So it's either we break this bottom or we break the top, that we know that, okay, we're in the final phase of these waves. But this is an indication. Crossing this trend support here is an early indication that we are almost done. So with what we are seeing on the DXY, because it's a mirror of USD, so we can now take that to Euro USD. So we can take that to the Euro USD. So I'm going to take this one off now. So we are comparing these. So we're almost there. This is 61.8 of the entire run. So we're going to see again. So we expect, of course, in this case, wave 3 can be equal to wave 1, but wave 3 is not the shortest, which means that wave 5 can be the shortest. So But again, is it going to run entire length? We'll see. Or more than wave 3, we'll see. Let's see what we're going to get here. Everything is becoming a bit, you are going to align and stay with what the structure has said. So if that is what we expect at least price should get here. To say at least we're in wave 3, so price should get here. So, and if you look at what that is on the higher time frame, we are still not close to where, let's look at the daily, we'll still not be close to where we want to relinquish. So if you're getting here, of course, we may have broken this top by doing that, but of course, see where we are likely going to still be heading, very close to this area, maybe heading close to this area. But I don't believe that we are done with the structure already. I don't believe that. But when you are saying this is an early sign, because we are now breaking out. So this is a new, so okay, in terms of wave, so we can say that wave 1 and 2 and wave 3 is out. So once we break out of this, so we are saying that we are about finishing the last wave, and that might be a wave 5. So this is a new structure now. That's the meaning. Breaking out of this trend line means this is a new structure. And if we break the top, it's a new structure and potentially the last structure. So let's now take this to Euro USD, Euro dollar, Euro dollar. Is this where I've been working? Let me see. I'm not so sure. Okay, this is where I've been working. Like I said, we have touched this area. And we are seeing this now as a potential move to the upside, okay? So seeing this as a potential move to the upside, then let's see what our trend line had given us here. Our trend line this is still yet to break the trend line, but we know from the DXY and from the DXY that potentially we are about doing the last wave. Now, let's go inside of a 4-hour time frame. Now, the 4-hour time frame now. So with what we are seeing, we now know that this is not, wave 1 does not start from here, from the DXY, because you can see it broke the top. So this won't be a wave 1 and wave 2 here. So this is part of wave 2. So we can now understand a time structure, how it can mess us up. So it's now looking like this is a 1, in between that, a 1, 2, 3, okay, a 1, A, B, C of a 2, and a 3 here, and a possible 3, 3, 4 to finish this one as wave 1 here. So we are also seeing A, B, C of a wave 2. So it means this is likely to be wave 1. You can see exactly where that reaction is turning down. And this is our wave 2. And this is, I think, turning down at exactly about 76 or 78. So let's look at it on the euro dollar. So, okay, this is 76, exactly at 76. So it's turning down at exactly at 76. So if that is the case, at 76 it's turning down. Where should price not break now? So it has broken this one. So it's not as if it has broken a structure, because except we think wave 1 started from here, but DXY and US dollar index had helped us to really align ourselves that we didn't start from here, but from here, you know, 1 and a 2 in the middle for this, and a 3 and a 4 and a 5. So this now becomes a wave 1 here, and this becomes a wave C of 2 here, and here this one becomes the B of wave 3. That is what we can see here now. B of wave 3, and this is still part of wave 1, so it's out. So we can see that now. So where should this one not break is 85 now. So once we break out of here, then you should know that the structure is out. Price has no business breaking. It can touch it can touch the red area, but it has no business breaking out. So this, if you even want to sell 1.09 80 is, or 100 is where your stop loss should be if you can sell from here, and that will be probably risking about 40 pips or thereabouts, because we might not have a decent pullback to the upside. So that is what we have here now. So, and what we are saying is that if this is with beginning of wave 1, so what we are saying is that if the wave 1 started from here now to these points, to that point, let's still use our green. So it means that wave 3 cannot do anything less than this. At least it cannot do anything less than that. So what does that turn to? So it means that we should be expecting, at least this is where we said a 161.8 is of the entire run. So price is still going to break 161.8. Get, you know, in between here. So for me, I will still be pitching my tent around 7,300 and 72. Price may break that to the downside and extend a bit. But this now becomes an area for me to be looking for my buy. This becomes the new area for me, zone, to be looking for a buy in case we break down. But otherwise, if it turns up and breaks above here, then I will look for correction, more correction, to now begin to look for my buy. I don't have to break this top before I know that this thing is over. But for now, in terms of structure, this is still 1, and this is still 2, and potentially we're going to see a 3, and a 4, and a 5. So we should recognize all of that when it begins to, you know, play out. We should recognize all of that. So what we should be doing is that immediately this one begins to break down, you can draw your line of ending diagonal to cross like this and see how price begins to bounce. Okay, so for now, this is the end. I don't want you to be longer than this. All right, it's already too long.